Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend or a wonderful day. And today I'm going to do something a little bit special. And I guess you can call that a sequential video of the video that I made about a month ago, me trying to speak Swedish. If you might recall that video where I was just trying to speak as much Swedish as possible. And I figured this time we're going to do a little bit of a reading comprehension sequence video where I have a text where I printed out. It's about a page long. I'm going to tell you shortly where it's from, the sources and all of that, what's it about. You'll figure it out, I guess, along the way. And I'm going to read the text. I'm going to most likely read like sentence by sentence or maybe like paragraph to paragraph, and I'm going to translate it as I go along. And the idea is to, for me, first and foremost, to try to understand as much as possible, to understand what the context is about, what the text is about, and of course for you guys to kind of see how well versed I am in the Swedish language as of today, when I started studying Swedish around April of this year. And the idea also is to kind of just to see how I also, like what my strategies are when I try to understand the Swedish language, when I try to understand the Swedish text, what I look for, and how I approach this comprehension, so to speak. Inte något vi kan acceptera med dagens hotbild, hör generallöjtnanten om riskerna med vindkraftsparker i Östersjön. So that means, if I understand it right, it is not something we can accept in the current day's threat. Says the general lieutenant about the risks with the vindkraftsparker. That's what's the name in English word? The vindkraft, the windmills, right? There's a problem when you also speak German. You start to forget English words along the way. Försvarsmakten vill stoppa planerad vindkraft i Östersjön. So the defense ministry or the defense system wants to stop the planned windmill in the Baltic Sea. Östersjön is Baltic Sea. Längs Sveriges kust planeras tusentals vindkraftverk, men flera av projekten finns i delar av Östersjön där Försvarsmakten anser att vindkraften kommer att störa möjligheten att försvara Sverige. So along the Swedish coastline, it was planned to have all these windmills, but many of the projects that are there in parts of the Baltic Sea, the defense ministry realizes that the windmills will be a big possibility to defend Sweden. Att försvara Sverige. Det är ett väldigt allvarligt problem. So this is a very serious problem. Det kommer att reducera vår möjlighet att möta hotet och varna befolkningen, säger Carl-Johan Edström, generallöjtnant och chef för försvarsstaben. So that means it will reduce our possibility to meet the threats and to warn the population, says the General Lieutenant Carl-Johan Edström and the chef of the defense stab, like I guess like a group or something like that. Ute till havs vill flera bolag bygga stora parker av vindkraftverk längs Sveriges kust, men om de placeras i fel område riskerar de att skumma sikten för Försvarsmaktens övervakningssystem. So outside of the sea want more bolag, I guess like residential buildings. Bolag bygger stora parker av vindkraftverk längs Sveriges kust along the Swedish coastline. But if om de placeras i fel område riskerar. So if it is mistakenly placed in the area, there's a risk that att skimma sikten för försvarsmakten. So I guess there is a risk that the defense ministry cannot really have a good övervakningssystem. So like in German that's Überwachungssystem. So that's like a surveillance system, I would say. So there will be a problem with the surveillance system in the Baltic Sea area or something like that, if I understand it right. Det största problemet med vindkraftverk är att de påverkar våra sensorer på ett väldigt negativt sätt, säger Carl Johan Edström. So the biggest problem with the windmills, if you place there, is that it will affect or influence our sensors in a very negative way, på ett väldigt negativt sätt. Så fördröjer upptäckten av robotar. Enligt Försvarsmakten analys kan en park med vindkraftverk göra att det tar en minut längre att upptäcka om till exempel en kryssningsrobot har avfyrats mot Sverige. Oh, this is a tough one. So as far as I understand, so according to the Defense Ministry's analysis, it can like a part of the windmill area can take a minute longer to upptäcka. I don't remember what upptäcka means. Om till exempel en kryssningsrobot av... Yeah, no, this is actually a sentence I don't really fully understand. Maybe some of you can help me out here. Orsaken, so the cause, är att vindkraftverken torn och roterande blad avger omfattande radarekon och andra störningar. Eftersom även undervattenssensoren påverkas minskar också möjligheten att upptäcka en fientlig ubåt. So the cause is that the windmill tower and the rotating blad, don't really know what blad means, will give up the extending radar and other störningar also don't know, because even the underwater sensors are affected, minskar också möjligheten att upptäcka en fientlig båt. So there's something to do with the fact that something underwater can affect the underwater sensories. Other than that, I also don't really understand fully. And the idea here is that I try to find certain keywords to kind of understand what the essential meaning of the sentence means. So I don't necessarily try to translate every single word. I try to look for a few keywords in the sentence, in every sentence, and then I try to understand it that way. And it's usually the best strategy for many people in many different languages, regardless of what language that you're translating in. Så i en rapport från Försvarsdepartement som SVT tagit del av framgår att det saknas förutsättningar att etablera vindkraft i stora delar av Östersjön. So in a report from the Defense Ministry, as the SVT, this is the source by the way, the svt.se, took a part of, framgår att det saknas förutsättningar. So this is a missing requirement to establish a windmill. I assume this is right. Bedömningen är gjord utifrån underlag från Försvarsmakten och gäller hela havsområdet mellan Åland i norr, norra Östersjön och Öresund i sydvästra Östersjön. So the bedömningen, I assume the bedömningen, like the judgment maybe, is done outside of underlag from the Defense Ministry and applies to the entire havsområde, the sea area between Åland in the north, norra Östersjön, and Öresund in the southwest of Östersjön, so the southwest of the Baltic Sea. När det gäller just Östersjönsområdet ser vi stora svårigheter med att ha en samexistens mellan stora vindkraftsparker och en bibehållen militär förmåga för att försvara Sverige, säger Carl Johan Edström. This is an interesting one. When it applies to just the so when it just applies to the Baltic Sea area, we see a big difficulty med att ha en samexistens we see a difficulty to have a coexistence between the big solar system, the windmill, and the bibehållen militär förmåga, some kind of military something to defend Sweden. Yeah. So I think there's a little bit more, but I don't think it's necessary to continue that. So I think overall you could kind of see where I stand on the reading comprehension in Swedish. I assume this text, because this is from the svt.se, I just took a completely random text. It has I have no personal incentive or motivation to talk about something political. I just took any random text, really. And as you can see, the level of this language is around B2, maybe C1, depending. I would say it's more B2. And overall, I could fairly enough understand the text, but of course not everything. As you noticed, I struggled a little bit. But as I said, the key for me personally is to kind of pick out certain words in every sentence, and in the end I try to understand the overall essence. I don't need to understand every single word, because otherwise you're going to be spending like an hour or two translating every single word to understand, and then you're going to be confused either ways. And this is probably the best approach for any of you guys who are learning a new language, who want to practice the reading comprehension skills. And yeah, overall I think I did okay. If I had to rate from 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, I would say 5. Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah, that's about my personal grade, I would say. But let me know in the comment section down below how I did. Maybe you can give me a grade as well. Please do correct me on that. And as always, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you watching me. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.